Hey, beautiful peeps, my tribe of hotties. How are you today? Um, I thought I would share with you. I did give you a heads up. I was going to a cuddle party slash medicine journey this weekend over Valentine's weekend, and I wanted to share with you about it because it's a very unique, kind of one of a kind type journey. Because my friend, who I went to Charles Muir's source of Tantra school, sorry. Excuse me. He actually created this particular combination of medicine to go with the cuddle party tantric experience, which I think is a super powerful partnership, because usually medicine journeys are super quantum leap experiences for me. And then when you add the cuddle party tantric element in there, even though it's not sexual, it's more sensual. It just makes it that much more powerful. So anyway, it was we met in the late afternoon, and went through the whole orientation together. There was 12 of us total, and we got to be the first on Maui, for the first of many, because he's going to start coming out quarterly or so to do this with us. And one thing that happens before a cuddle party or a play party or a snuggle party, whatever you want to call it, they're actually, my friend Reed Mahalko created this phenomenon. So it's not just a free-for-all kind of thing. It's actually a structured container that has a whole orientation to it, and it's about boundaries and learning how to ask for what you want and all that. So we had that whole orientation as well that goes with the cuddle party, which usually involves some connection games and ways for us to kind of get to know each other, since we're all going to be going into this deeper space after we take the medicine. So that was really fun. And let's see, I brought a girlfriend to join me on this, and I knew the leaders, and I knew one other person, but the others I did not know. And the actual medicine is this unique combination that my friend just happened to come upon accidentally. And being an alchemist, he was like, oh my gosh, this is a really great combination to use for this particular purpose of the heart opening cuddle party, as well as like body high sensuality piece, because one of the medicines does the heart opening and the other one is more of the body one. So they're not very well known. One is 3-MeO, and then the other one is we call G. It's some kind of acronym, but anyway, it has a great combination effect, alchemical effect. And then he's actually gotten to the place now where he actually makes it himself, and because then it's 100% pure, because he found no matter where he ordered it from, it was only 60% there. So I could tell how pure it was, and it felt very clean, and it was a different kind of a high than I've had before. Anyway, it was definitely a quantum leap, and if you want to get in on it, I guess you can, check in with me. I think maybe the next one's going to be May 2022, perhaps. He's coming from Santa Cruz, because that's where he's living now. And it was really interesting. One of the highlights that came out of it for me, because, it's an overnight thing, and then you usually get some sleep in the early hours of the morning and sleep in, and then we had a nice breakfast to break the fast, and then we had a closing circle that's super powerful. We had 3 rounds where we talked about any shadow stuff that came up, any takeaway aha moments, and then also a round of gratitude for each other for different things that happened throughout the night. So one of the things I really noticed that was unique about this particular experience is because there was only a dozen of us, and when I've done cuddle parties before, they were larger, like double that or triple that or whatever. So usually, there's a lot of sectioning off that happens when you're partnering up with people. Whereas this, one of the leaders, the assistant, did this beautiful thing where he was kind of like weaving us in and out in a way that, at least for me, had the effect of, hey, this is something where we actually can be present with pretty much the whole group, a good part of the night where we're interacting as a group more so than just sectioning off into couples or, just more of these smaller 2 or 3 person groups. We were actually interacting as a small room, with each other throughout the whole night. And I hadn't had that experience before, and I really appreciated that. It felt very unifying and healthy. And so he did a beautiful job of showing that, because you kind of go in and out of these experiences with each other where you're cuddling or giving each other massage or laughing or whatever. It's not really a talky, it's more of a body high. And so they encouraged us not to be talky. And we did 2 rounds. So you're taking one in the form of a liquid and one is a form of a powder. And then we did 2 rounds of that. And he actually does an interview before arriving so that he knows exactly how much to give you based on your past and your weight and all that kind of stuff. So one of the takeaways that I shared at the very end that I had some tears with, that was kind of important for some reason for me to just acknowledge and voice and be witnessed, was, and this is so surprising to a lot of people, I think, is that I said, I don't get enough attention in my life. And that's hard for people to believe sometimes. I know, I was neglected as a child growing up, and I feel like I raised myself in many ways. And then I actually became like a mother, it felt like, at 10 years old when my youngest brother came along. So, but I said, it just feels like that's continued on throughout my whole life, where I'm not getting enough attention. I didn't get hardly any attention from my dad at all. He poured all his energy into his son, which was part of his therapy in life. And, almost to the point of like love bombing his son, and then to the neglect of the rest of us. So, and then my mom, I think, felt kind of depleted from that marriage and just in general, and only had so much to give as well. And I definitely didn't grow up in like a nurturing environment. Like there was not a lot of affection or any like verbal affirmation. And we were a low income family too. So I know some people have this story about me, that what the hell, like I have a hard time believing you don't get enough attention. And it just is. I can't really figure it out myself either, to be honest. There's such a thing as the wrong kind of attention as well. And of course, I think there's maybe a push-pull going on where sometimes I get the wrong kind of attention and I'm totally not interested in that, where it's like maybe men might be coming at me with just strictly sexual energy, which becomes obvious to me, and they're not really seeing me or seeing past my appearance or whatever. And there is a part of me that's a social butterfly. I love community and I love building community. But I'm sure COVID has something to do with this, and maybe why I'm bringing it up, because, it was a little bit more isolationary. hermit lifestyle, especially when you live on an island, because when the tourists stop coming, it's like a ghost town a little bit here. And I also did have a couple friends move away. Wow, 4 that I can think of right now. And so, it really affected my ability to connect more. But I would even say from men, I don't get attention, in the right way, in a healthy way. Like, I don't have a partner right now. I'm not dating anyone in particular right now. And, like, I go to the beaches a lot. That's part of the lifestyle here. And I have a whole community of friends, but it's not like I'm getting a lot of attention. I don't know. I think I've been told that I can be intimidating, and I started thinking about that more recently, where, I guess because I'm trained in Tantra, and because I'm trained in relationship skills and communication skills, and that alone can be intimidating, because if they know that if they're not trained at all in those things, or maybe they just haven't done a lot of work on themselves, they're not really going to be a match. And, in that case, they're doing me a favor, I guess, by not reaching out in a way, because I really want a true match, someone who can truly match me in his consciousness and in his strength. I think I've only met like one man that I consider that I actually experienced as being as strong as me energetically. And to find a man who's as spiritual, and then also as versed in, the relationship skills, it's a little bit of a tall order, I guess, for this day and age. Anyway, I don't know. I used to think, oh, do people just assume that I'm getting enough attention and that I'm getting compliments all the time or whatever? Because if they're assuming I'm already getting it, then that's why they're not saying it, I guess. They think, oh, she gets enough of that, I'm sure. And it's like, no, I'm not. So anyway, it was just a weird realization I had to kind of mourn, I guess is the word. I had to mourn it. And anyway, I invoke and activate that I get a lot of healthy attention from male and female tribe. And when I shared about it, I was saying, it's not like you go up to someone and say, can you give me some attention? That just feels awkward. I just know that, like, when I do date someone, or when I've had partners, they're very attentive, and that's, a form of attention, right? They're very attentive, and they're, there's a lot of affection, and they're just really charismatic and into their relationship, and so that's kind of what I'm talking about. Or it might come in a verbal form more so, where there's compliments and the verbal affirmation side of it, where yeah, they're giving me lots of feedback, or like just having someone invest in me. I feel like I invest in my clients a lot and in my friends, but I don't always feel like men in particular are investing back in me. It's like they almost have an agenda or something. So anyway, some interesting food for thought. Maybe you relate to what I'm saying. You're like, yeah, I don't get enough attention either. Well, let's invoke and activate that we get a lot of healthy attention, because, I guess the opposite of that is neglect, right? And I feel like I give myself a lot of attention, because I have to do a lot of self-care. I'm a one-woman show. I live alone. I work alone, and I'm the one carrying the load of all my bills by myself, and I have since I was 18, for the most part, And anyway, I hope you also enjoyed what I had to share about this combo medicine journey, Cuddle Party. Maybe it's something you'd like to access in your town at some point, if that interests you. It is an official thing, like I said. You can look up cuddle parties in Toronto or, you know, wherever you're at. And medicine journeys are still kind of, I think, on the down low, and you have to kind of ask around because it's in the process of being legalized and becoming a therapy option for people, because you can quantum leap pretty fast. And you probably heard of people going to like South America for a week and they do several journeys in that time or whatever, but they're all over the place, and Maui certainly has plenty. And if you're going to be coming to Maui, I can definitely hook you up with a few different groups I have that I'm a part of that do different kinds of medicines. All right, well, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.